I am at all times trying to be the kind of man that my daughter is pleased to call father.
Man, God loves that
That's full and weighty.
guy. It is NGEN Radio. Marcus right here. We get a chance to go what I call behind the beat and get a chance to talk to artists exclusively and find out what is going on behind the music. Today, I got a special guest. Guys, I've been talking about this one on social media. I've been talking about it on the shows, man. I've waited 5 years for it, and God has blessed us with this moment right now. K to the second letter, KB on the show today. What's up, bro?
Hey, thank you for having me, brother. Glad to be here.
Man, you are in a new season, a winning season, new project coming out. A lot of stuff. I definitely want to get into the music, bro, but right now I want to go behind the beat, right? Behind the bars with you and kind of get in depth. But first, bring us up to speed. How's everything going with the release of the new project?
Yeah, good question, brother. I am happy with how the team has been rolling things out. Had a event last week in Nashville at African American Museum for Music. I think it's the world's only um, museum that covers hip hop, gospel, early, just kind of African American contributions to music. And they have this beautiful theater there. We had the industry come out, Pandora, and Spotify, a bunch of other DSPs. It's really for DSPs. And I got to spend an hour and a half walking folks through the album. It was a powerful time. I got emotional a couple times because once you finish an album, you've had to listen to the whole thing like 4 million times. So you take a
Yeah.
break. So you take like if it's 2 months before the album comes out, you don't listen to the album for 2 months. And so I got to listen to the album for the first time in a long time last Wednesday, and just was reminded of God's grace and what these songs might mean for people everywhere. And it was just a super encouraging experience. And we just dropped a new Latin gospel record on Friday called Danza. And excited to continue to roll stuff out with the project. So HGA 2 is August 11th, and I'm hoping that we are setting the table for a lot of people to come eat.
Man, I absolutely love that, man. Just hearing that part of your journey of birthing this new uh, baby of another project of yours. It wasn't always like that for you, right? I saw on your social media a few weeks ago, you posted like some of the early stuff. It was part of the promotion, and I'm like, people know they see the glory,
Mm.
right? But they don't, and I'm almost preaching here. They don't know your story, right? But bro, real quick, talk about the mental aspect of going to be an artist to where you are today in the beginning. How'd you encourage yourself? Who'd you have around you saying, yes, you're in your purpose, you in your calling?
Yeah, I think yeah, somebody asked me at the museum last week. They asked me, what does it mean to be effective? And and as I look at, by God's grace, the last decade, because I've been doing this for a long time, longer than that, and I've had along the way to ask, you know, is this effective, or better yet, more like, is this what God would have me to be? And I think that my first album, Weight and Glory, was a testament to me that God did not set me up. He didn't you know, make me believe that he was sending me into this door and then slamming in my face, gotcha. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But no, if he has brought me here, one of the ways that I can measure that it was him is that he will see it to completion. Maybe it won't be a platinum selling record, but we'll get something done that we're proud of, something that we thought we couldn't do. The things will fall into place to some degree, that it is impactful for people's lives, and it's a work that we can put our names on. And Weight and Glory was the first time that I put an album. It was the first album ever. I never recorded anybody in music before that. And finishing it and stepping back is saying, oh, shoot, this is another monument, something that I can go back to and remember that God is faithful. If he did it once, he'll do it again and again
Yeah,
and
yeah.
again. And I've watched that every single album is God doing it again, showing that where he has me is where he wants me, and that I'm not here by myself. And so that's been a journey, but that's also been accompanied with a lot of work. So a lot of hard work. I've performed for many years, night after night after night, for audiences that had no idea who I was. It was like pulling teeth for the first two songs, having to
Yeah.
win rooms from the streets to arenas, just going wherever God opened the door, and then working really hard when I was there. In fact, in a way that I can't work that hard today. My body won't let me. But I have for many, many years, because Christian hip hop doesn't. So I'm grateful for NGEN Radio, NGENradio.com. We rely on. There's not a lot of y'all out there, and we rely on the few that we have that believe in what we're doing, that believe in the importance of the message, that help to spread what we do. Because outside of that, we are essentially going door to door. Check out this new that kind of thing.
Facts.
And
Facts.
that's a lot of work on an artist, and artists in other industries are able to drop a song, and then 2,000 radio stations are playing it in regular rotation. Everything
Yeah.
that we have has been the result of the grace of God in relationships, in winning audiences via social media and institutions like the one that I'm on right now, and a lot of hard work,
Yeah.
and so that's what we're on the back end of, and I think you're going to hear that. You will hear that in my album, as a man, looking back on a lot as opposed to looking
Yeah.
forward to a lot. There's a lot of that is now present in my music from a real place.
Love it. KB right here behind the beat right here with Marcus and NGEN Radio. Bro, that is the music part of you. There's so much more in you, and you throw flashes of it on your social media. I love it when you put the family on there.
Yep.
And I know that's your first ministry. Bro, let's dive into that, man. Like how many kids you got?
I got a lot of kids. I got three. I got two
Three.
boys and a girl.
Absolutely. I'm rocking with two boys, two amazing boys.
Nice.
And man, in this space that we're in, as far as like serving others, serving the community with Christian hip hop music and our faith and putting it on display, when it's time to get home and the doors close and the social media is off and the cameras are not rolling, and KB, the father, right? How does the light switch? You just mentioned it's a lot of work and what you have to do
Yeah.
as far as your kingdom assignment.
Yep.
Yes. How does it switch?
Well, I
What
think
happens at home?
one, I think the way I like to think about it is, is I am likely not always going to be a rapper. I guess in some ways, because it's my career, I will always have been a rapper. But I'm not always going to be an active rapper. But I am always going to be an active father. And by God's grace, I'm always going to be an active husband. So the way I see it is, though obviously hip hop, making music, podcasting, other stuff is a part of my ministry. It's important to me to always remember that I'm going to those places as a father who does podcasting, as a husband who also raps. I am bringing the most important identity to the table everywhere that I go, so that I don't need to essentially become something that I'm not, or or kind of tap into a bag that I got turned off. No, I am doing things on stage, saying things on songs, saying things in interviews out of my fatherhood. Meaning, I want my boys to hear this. I'm thinking about if they were in the audience. I'm
Yeah.
thinking about them hearing these songs years from now, or watching this on YouTube years from now. I am at all times trying to be the kind of man that my sons want to be. And then I'm also at all times trying to be the kind of man that my daughter is pleased to call father. And so I'm, you know, I carry that identity at the forefront. That if things aren't okay there, things are not okay anywhere else. Nothing good is
Yeah.
happening in my career or opportunities that I might have that can substitute something that's fallen apart at home. So I try to bring the home with me wherever I go, so that it's a very much easy transition. I had a concert in Fort Myers yesterday. My boys came with me. I make them serve what I call daddy hours if I feel like they tripping. And they were both due for some daddy hours. So we got some daddy
Yeah.
hours in where we go and enjoy each other's company. There's a lot of instruction, a lot of contemplation, and a lot of fun. That's what we do in our
Yeah.
daddy hours. And
Yeah.
I got to spend the entire day with them in the morning, and I can just see it in subtle things like, we went to breakfast yesterday morning, and my son not wanting to sit on the other side of the table. I want to sit next to you, Daddy. They
Yeah.
want to be nearer to me when we get these times together. But all of that's in context of my career. They're seeing me on stage. They're seeing me in these
Yeah.
interviews. They're seeing me in my business, and
Yeah.
all of that is to make a stronger display for them, and for me to constantly remember that my truest identity is local, not global.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Man, when we see the gram or TikTok or the YouTube videos, we see the podcast, right? The clothing, the swag, all of that, right? He's on fire. God is, man, God loves that guy, right? That's what people they see that. Are there any struggles
Yeah,
that you're willing to talk about when you don't feel like KB's not up to par today,
right.
right? Or God, how come I'm not there yet? Because I'm assuming you still have goals, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about those, bro.
Yeah, and I would say too, man, that it's always good to put the locus or the center of God's favor in your life, uh,
Talk about it.
really on the ways in which He is developing you, and the ways in which He is using you to serve others. There are a lot of people that have everything that I have, and 10 times more, who are not favored by God.
Yeah,
And there are a lot of people that are able to, I'll just say it like this: it's good to also recognize that when you see people killing it, that necessarily isn't a testament to God's feelings about them, or God's presence in their life. Uh, you can do well and not love Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So we got to want more. So
yeah,
I want to know the favor of God in preserving my marriage. I want to know the favor of God and healing my children and bringing them to faith. I want to know the favor of God in helping us to be stable. We don't need to be rich. We just need to be stable.
yeah, man.
I want to know the favor of God in mending broken relationships. That's that's substantive. That's full and weighty and nutritious. All the other
Yeah,
stuff is just, it's the
stuff.
outside of the cup. Uh,
Yeah,
it's the outside. It's frivolous. It's vapid. It's passing. So I would say, to answer your questions, absolutely. I still have aspiration. There are things that I wish would have been that have not become. I have some of those in career, by God's grace, not a lot. I didn't expect to be where I am. Every single day is like, dang, we've made it this far.
man.
When do we start making our descent? But I feel that personally, with particularly in relationships with people that I love, who, whether or not we, should we have said that or done that, or you feel regret over the loss of family members. And
Mm.
and on a real way, I am a human being like everyone else, a 35-year-old human being,
Yeah,
who is loving three children in close proximity to a community. I am a man of injuries as well. So I'm in therapy regularly. In fact, I did pre engage. This is overkill, but I did pre engagement counseling, premarital counseling. We did a little bit of marital counseling, but then we basically go on our own, and that's been my life all for 12 years, more
Yeah, man.
intensely in the last couple years. If I even notice something rising in my heart that I don't like, I am taking that to my spiritual leaders and to my therapists.
Yeah,
So I am doing the work to stay a whole, healthy human being,
yeah,
and that is where the majority of my struggle is. The stuff outside of that is, pardon the pun, I got a song, is a lot easier. Somebody not liking your song is a lot easier
yeah.
than a break in your body or a break in your relationship. So yeah, again, it all kind of goes back to my chief identity is that I am a man after God who is father, husband, minister of the gospel, and I carry that wherever I go. Everything else is just expressions of my true identity.
Love it. Before we get into this music, because I gotta get into this album. KB right here, one on one with Marcus. What moment, bro, where it went, aha, right? I'm doing it right, right? Like I got it. You remember the first time you rode a bike, or you remember the first time your kid may have rode a bike, and you like, you got it, you got it, you got
Yeah,
it. That moment when you mixed career with faith, with family, and you was like, God, I got it, right? You
yeah.
remember that moment?
I don't know if I had that moment, big dog.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a constantly, or if I do have that moment, I have it in progressive and regressive ways. So it's like, oh man,
Okay.
I got it. Oh no, I don't got it.
So
So
it's forever a balance thing. You got
it
to stay in the
is. So
game.
that's why we always say we prefer saying that it definitely is a balance. We certainly need to balance things out. But another way to think about it is just alignment. You think about there's a circle, and it's like having a bunch of roly polies inside that circle, and each roly poly represents some aspect of your life, and you let the roly poly sit there and they start going outside. So you got to pull one back in, pull that
Yeah.
back in. I'm getting off it, leaning too much on that. Need to bring that back in. I don't like that. Got to pull that back in. We probably need some more of this. Let's put that in the circle. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah.
life of constant alignment. I guess the better analogy would have just been a car. So where alignments come from.
Yeah. And they cost.
Yeah. So you through your journey, you'll constantly need to go back in and get the wheels reset.
His Glory Alone 2 on its way. You said August 11th.
August 11th.
Bro, I heard you singing on this joint. This
Yes.
true? Bro, have you ever well now singing. There's a difference between singing and singing. Are you singing on this joint?
Yeah.
What we doing on it?
Yeah, so I've always done melodic stuff, you know what I'm saying, and had some vocal training back in the day. So I've always kind of did, kind of sang some, but it's just not my discipline. My discipline is rapping. Uh, so through the years, I've been as technology has gotten better, and I've also gotten better at singing. Uh, I've been sprinkling that stuff in there, and yeah, on this song and this album, I didn't do a ton of singing, but I did do. I have a couple songs on there where I sing the entire thing,
Yeah.
so I'm kind of introducing that part, and we'll see. I just felt like I sung about my daddy woundedness in one song. Another
Mm,
song was just singing about surrendering to God. Both of
yeah.
those I felt needed somebody singing, and to the best of my ability, I did that, and I also did elicit some help. So
Yeah.
one of the songs on my album, I got one of my favorite vocalists in Christian music, Britt Nicole. She helps me carry that thing across the finish line. So yeah, we try to sprinkle it in there.
um, when this project comes out, when you said the project comes out and you go a while without listening to it, and then you have to go into the promo. How'd you know it was done? This is the project. We're ready. How'd you know?
Really, you don't. You don't. You don't. You don't. You just end up. You just stop at some point. You know. At least for me, it's been like, I had 18 songs. I
Mm,
had like then the label was like, hey, what if we were to break this up some? So there's a small project coming out right after this album comes out. This is exclusive NGEN Radio. Uh,
yeah,
but I just keep creating until I can't anymore, or there's no more time to create. And what we have left, we then we sort of weave together into a cohesive project, and then we
yeah,
ask questions. What does this project? What is it saying? What's the overarching theme? How should it be entitled? And from there we begin to carve out an album. So
yeah,
yeah, so it's basically I work until I don't have any more else in the tank, or I don't have any more time. We
yeah.
have to turn something in. Then we work from there.
True story, bro. Do you? I know we're doing kingdom's work. I know you're in your kingdom assignment when you're putting out projects, right? You're doing what God has called you to do. But do you feel the pressure? Because the album before, or like, man, I got to do. Here's the bar from the last album. Do I got to supersede that?
I used to like. I remember when Today We Rebel came out. It came out at a time where the industry had changed. People weren't really buying albums like that anymore in terms of physical copies. So my first week sales were not as strong as Tomorrow We Live, and
Yeah,
um, and and I remember like feeling really sad about that. Like, oh my goodness, like this is this is not performed at the same level as Tomorrow We Live, as yeah, Tomorrow We Live, which ended up not being true because of streaming. In fact, Today Rebel had streamed far better than Tomorrow We Live, but I was used to measuring it by first week sales. We did 10,000 this time, 14,000, 20,000, and now we're down at 10,000 again. What happened? And
mm,
so I remember feeling the pressure there. And then you're also surrounded by a bunch of peers who are also leveling up, and you just start thinking, man, I'm not able to kind of keep up, or whatever it
right.
may be. But I don't feel that anymore, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So
Just keep
to,
doing it,
to
and
me,
man, you.
success is in faithfully completing a project and being proud of what you did. And the greater success is when this record is actually changing people's lives. And I got, as long as I got those two things,
Win.
you know.
It's a win.
Now I will say this: I could be saying that from a place of you know of of safety, because most of the times I put out projects and people have thought it was better. But
Yeah.
so I haven't
Just in
I
case.
hadn't put out. Hopefully this isn't that, but I haven't put out some where people were like, I don't know what he was thinking on this. But in my estimation, I just take a lot of joy in I and my team feel confident in the work that we have done, and I just try to stand on that.
Yeah. Love it. I got one last question. I'm gonna wrap this thing up with you, bro. I know you did say you got a gospel joint, Danza.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever dabbled into the gospel music?
I mean, we did King Jesus, which is a Vicky Winans
Mine
record.
is, yeah. Yeah. So
But yeah, but Don's Fred Hammond. I got two records with Uncle Fred, and obviously came from a world very much influenced by gospel. So it was an honor to mix that in.
yeah. Love it. Now you talked about your team real quick, and before I get you out of here, AI technology. What do you feel about it, man? I know you're forefronting on social media when you're doing a lot of stuff. You're doing it ahead of the game. Uh, AI technology. Where you at on it?
I think that AI is a good thing, but like all good things, it's ripe to be corrupted by bad people. So I think that AI is dangerous in that respect, but it's dangerous like how money is dangerous. and how power is dangerous. But I see it as it's technology. It's us using our knowledge and our our abilities to create something that makes life that helps to optimize our living. And AI is just that. Now, I would love to see some social media ethicists and technology
Yeah.
ethicists help to regulate it
Yeah.
because it's wild right now.
Yeah. It's very
But
well.
no, I am definitely not anti AI, but I am certainly pro regulation, so that this doesn't turn into something that makes us dumber.
Facts, facts. His Glory Alone 2 out August the 11th. You got the podcast, Outside Rabbi. You got the clothing, the book, Dangerous Jesus. Like it's still a lot of stuff going on. Y'all want more content, all things KB. You got a website or you just want them to hit you on the social media?
You can just hit me up on Instagram, KB_HGA.
Love it. Hey, and remember, guys, he did say after this project, there will be something else coming back. KB, I would love to have you back to even go more in depth, bro. And I appreciate you taking the time to swing by NGEN Radio
Of
to do
course.
this interview with me. Man, it was 5 years waiting, and I was like, man, thank
We
you,
did it,
God,
baby. We did
for
it.
this moment where we got it done. So KB right here behind the beat, right here with Marcus, right here on NGEN Radio. What up, guys? It's Marcus. To listen to KB's music on NGEN, text app to 67101.